Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Ever wondered what that number, your IQ, really means? Does it define your potential? Or is it just a snapshot, a fleeting glimpse of your cognitive abilities? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating and often controversial history of IQ testing. But this isn't just a history lesson. We're going to explore how AI is completely reshaping our understanding of intelligence itself. Buckle up, because this journey might just change how you see yourself and the world. Are we really as smart as we think we are? That's the question we're tackling today. Let's rewind to the late 19th century. Picture this: France, grappling with a growing education system. Enter Alfred Binet, a French psychologist tasked with a seemingly simple mission: identify students who needed extra help. He wasn't trying to rank or label kids. His goal was purely to provide support. Binet believed intelligence was malleable, something that could be developed. He developed a series of tests designed to measure memory, attention, and problem-solving skills. This became the Binet-Simon scale, the grandfather of all IQ tests. It was meant to be diagnostic, not deterministic. Think of it as a tool to help students thrive, not a life sentence based on a single number. But here's where things took a dark turn. Binet's work quickly spread, and unfortunately, his original intentions were often lost in translation. People started using IQ tests for purposes he never imagined, and certainly never would have approved of. Francis Galton, a cousin of Charles Darwin, had already been advocating for the idea that intelligence was largely hereditary. This thinking, combined with the rise of eugenics, led to some truly horrific consequences. IQ tests were used to justify discriminatory policies, limit immigration, and even forcibly sterilize individuals deemed unfit. It's a chilling reminder of how good intentions can be twisted and misused. This is a part of history we absolutely cannot forget. Let's break down the immediate impact of Binet's work. First, in psychology and education, the impact was huge. Binet's work gave birth to standardized testing. Suddenly, we had a structured way to assess cognitive abilities. The concept of mental age emerged, allowing us to compare a child's abilities to their peers. And, crucially, it helped identify students with learning disabilities. It's important to remember that the Binet-Simon scale was the blueprint for countless IQ tests that followed. Think of the Stanford Binet, for example. These tests became more sophisticated, but they all owe a debt to Binet's original work. The ripple effects didn't stop there. IQ testing quickly spread into adjacent industries. Human resources, government, and the military all saw the potential for using IQ tests for personnel selection. It seemed like a quick and efficient way to match individuals to suitable roles and classify people within different organizations. The principles of IQ testing influenced the development of other standardized assessment tools. Think aptitude tests, career assessments, even personality inventories. All of these owe a debt to the foundation laid by Binet. But again, this came with its own set of problems. Now, let's talk about the socio-economic impact. This is where things get really complicated. IQ testing reignited the age-old debate about nature versus nurture. Is intelligence primarily determined by genetics or by environment? The use and misuse of IQ tests contributed to social stratification and inequality. People were often judged and categorized based on their scores, leading to disparities in access to education, employment, and social mobility. And let's be clear, IQ tests have been used to justify racist and ableist beliefs and policies, perpetuating discrimination and marginalization. This is not just history. It's a legacy we're still grappling with today. What are we going to do about it? I want to emphasize this next point because it's incredibly important. The belief in the heritability of intelligence, fueled by early interpretations of IQ testing, contributed to the eugenics movement. This movement advocated for selective breeding and forced sterilization. It's a horrifying chapter in human history, and it's a direct consequence of the misuse of IQ testing. We need to understand this history to prevent it from ever happening again. The echoes of eugenics still linger today in discussions about genetics and social policy. We must be vigilant in guarding against the misuse of scientific information to justify discriminatory practices. Even today, the use of IQ tests raises serious ethical concerns. Privacy, fairness, and the potential for misuse of sensitive data are all major issues. The very concept of IQ and its measurement remains a subject of ongoing debate. Critics question its validity, reliability, and cultural biases. Does an IQ score really tell us anything meaningful about a person's potential? Or is it just a snapshot of abilities that are heavily influenced by factors outside of their control? These are questions we need to keep asking. Let's talk about some specific risks associated with IQ testing. First, there's the risk of oversimplification. The concept of intelligence is incredibly complex, and reducing it to a single number can be misleading. We also need to acknowledge that IQ tests have evolved over time. Relying solely on the early history without addressing current methodologies can paint an incomplete picture. And we have to be careful about the language we use. Describing sensorimotor tasks as simply brain receiving a message and then producing a response doesn't capture the full complexity of the process. From a business perspective, there are reputational and legal risks to consider. Presenting biased or inaccurate information about IQ could damage your credibility and potentially lead to legal challenges. If the information is used to make decisions about individuals or groups without proper consideration of its limitations, it can lead to unfair outcomes. And of course, we always need to be mindful of copyright and plagiarism. Make sure you're properly crediting your sources and avoiding any potential infringement issues. Let's dig deeper into the ethical risks. We've already talked about the historical use of IQ tests to justify discrimination, but the potential for bias still exists today. We need to be careful about reinforcing harmful stereotypes or suggesting that intelligence is solely determined by genetics. Informed consent is crucial. Individuals need to understand the purpose of the test, how the results will be used, and their right to refuse testing. And we must always protect individuals' privacy and confidentiality. Now, let's throw a wrench into the whole system. Artificial intelligence. AI is not just mimicking human intelligence. It's fundamentally changing our understanding of what intelligence even is. AI algorithms are already surpassing human performance in specific tasks. Does this mean AI has a higher IQ? Not necessarily. It means our old ways of measuring intelligence are becoming obsolete. AI is forcing us to ask, what truly makes us intelligent? Is it problem-solving? Creativity? Emotional intelligence? The answers are becoming increasingly complex. Here's a thought. Could AI eventually design better IQ tests? Tests that are less biased, more comprehensive, and more adaptable to individual learning styles? It's a possibility, but it also raises a whole new set of ethical questions. Who controls the AI? How do we ensure it's used fairly? And what happens when AI can predict our potential with frightening accuracy? The future of intelligence assessment is uncertain, but one thing is clear. AI will play a major role. So, how do we navigate this complex landscape? First, we need to provide a balanced and nuanced perspective. Acknowledge the historical context, current debates, and limitations of IQ testing. Consult with experts, psychologists, statisticians, ethicists, to ensure accuracy and avoid perpetuating harmful stereotypes. Emphasize that IQ tests measure only a narrow range of cognitive abilities and that intelligence is multifaceted. Promote responsible use of information and be transparent about the limitations of the data. Use inclusive language and prioritize ethical considerations. This is the only way forward. Think about it. Alfred Binet set out to help struggling students. He couldn't have possibly foreseen the far-reaching consequences of his work. The butterfly effect is real. His invention, intended for good, was twisted and misused, leading to some of the darkest chapters in human history. But it also laid the foundation for our understanding of cognitive abilities and paved the way for the development of AI. The story of IQ testing is a cautionary tale, but it's also a story of progress and innovation. It's up to us to learn from the past and ensure that the future of intelligence is one of fairness, equity, and opportunity for all. So, what's the takeaway? IQ testing is a complex and controversial topic. It has a dark history, but it also has the potential to be a valuable tool. As we enter the age of AI, we need to rethink our understanding of intelligence and how we measure it. We need to be mindful of the ethical implications of using AI to assess human potential. And we need to ensure that these tools are used to empower individuals, not to limit them. What do you think? Is IQ testing a relic of the past, or does it still have a place in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions on AI, technology, and the future of humanity. Thanks for watching.